Happy Tuesday. Yeah, that's right. It's Tuesday, and we're here this week only. Tonight, tomorrow night, that'll be it again until Monday. Anyway, welcome to another edition of Time Out Overtime on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm Rick Arsenal, live and direct from the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex. If you haven't done so yet, please get down there in the corner, smash that like and subscribe button. I can't thank you all enough for watching and listening. You've made this broadcast a huge success. Keep up the good work. Remember, the next subscriber will be the winner. You know what you're going to win. So, where do we start here? Let's get the baseball out of the way. Surprisingly, I predicted Toronto would sweep Seattle in 4 games. That certainly isn't going to happen. If anything else, now it looks like it could be the other way around. They're headed back to Seattle for Game 3 tomorrow with the Mariners up 2-0. Very surprising. Very surprising to me. First couple of games, too, with Toronto, the Mariners have been doing a lot more hitting than they did against the Tigers in their last 5 games in that 5-game series. So anyway, Game 3 of that series tomorrow in Seattle tomorrow night with the Mariners up 2-0. Wouldn't that be something if the Mariners swept them? I didn't see that. Didn't see it. Over the National League, Game 1 of the NLCS last night, the Dodgers beat the Brewers 2-1. Game 2 is tonight, a little after 8 on TBS. Of course, with the Dodgers having a 1-0 lead in that series. That's it for the baseball. We talked yesterday about what Scott Harris had to say in his press conference. So that's it for baseball right now. And I don't know, now that the Tigers have been eliminated, how vested you are in what's going on right now. But if you're a baseball fan, I suppose you are. But so anyhow, college football. Michigan State will be in Bloomington, Indiana for a 3:30 game against the Hoosiers on Saturday. 27-point underdogs. Yeah, 4 touchdowns. It's a 3:30 game. I guess maybe the good news is it's exclusively being streamed exclusively on Peacock. So unless you have a subscription to Peacock, you will have to go to a sports bar like the one we have here and watch it, or listen to George Blaha on the radio. Okay, that's probably, and even the diehard Spartan fan. What interest would you have in wanting to see this game? Unless you're a glutton for punishment. Oh, all right. 27 points. On the other hand, Michigan will be entertaining Washington at the Big House at noon on Fox. Last time I looked, the Wolverines were, 5.5-point favorites. They'll have to play better than they did last Saturday if they want to win. I don't know. With 2 losses now, yeah, is there still a chance for Michigan to get in? But yeah, but they'd have to run the table. And I don't know that a loss to Ohio State at home would eliminate them or not. There's so much that can transpire between now and the end of the season. Anyway, right now, I just watching them Saturday, they didn't look like a playoff team to me. But you never know. As I said before, too, look, if the Spartans were to terminate Jonathan Smith after just a year and a half, they'd have to cut him a check for somewhere of about $35 to $37 or $38 million. And again, I'm not going to sit here, folks. I'll never sit here and tell you or promote someone losing their job. I'm never going to do that. And it's hard for me to sympathize with these guys. Sure, they get terminated. It's probably a blow to their ego, but not their pocketbooks. My word, James Franklin, what, 50, $60 million buyout? Even Jonathan Smith, they would owe him in the vicinity of somewhere to 35, 36, $37 million. It was a blow to their ego, yes, but not their pocketbook. Boy, I'm sure, it's hard on the family having to, and the kids in school and everything else, getting involved in cliques and having to make friends, going from one venue to another across the country. That's all part of being a coach's wife or child or son or daughter. That's all part of the deal. Does the money more than make up for it? You'd have to ask the family. I don't know. How much money is enough? If someone cut you a check for 35, 40, $50 million, would that be enough for you? Would that be enough money for you to live on? I don't know. Of course, they don't get all of that. There's taxes, and they have agents get a cut, so on and so forth. Everybody gets a little piece of the pie. Anyway, so much for college football. Let's do our sponsors. Get that out of the way first. As I told you before, I'm so happy and proud to have the Finish Line Family Restaurant on Carlton Road as part of our sponsor family now. What is the secret of success for 4 decades of service in this community? It's not easy running a restaurant. It takes a lot of hard work, long hours, dedication from staff. It's just, that should tell you something right there. If a restaurant's been in operation for that long, I don't know what this community would have done, but not the Finish Line Family Restaurant on Carlton Road in Hillsdale. Now with extended hours, Monday, Thursday, and Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Anything you want in a restaurant. Great food, great service, reasonable prices, great family atmosphere, anything at all. Get in there and say hello to the new owner, Gavin Carr. And, he's one of the nicest people you're ever going to want to meet. So please, folks, the Finish Line Family Restaurant, I highly recommend it for award-winning breakfast. As I said, great service, great family atmosphere, great food, great desserts, ice cream, the whole works. Finish Line Family Restaurant on Carlton Road in Hillsdale. We're also brought to you in part by Frank Beck Chevrolet. And the good folks there right now want to remind you that October's truck month at Frank Beck Chevrolet. Get in there right now. Get a great deal on a truck, Silverado or whatever. Now is the time to get to Beck Chevrolet and buy that truck. You'll never get a better deal than you're going to get this month. I guarantee you that. Get in there and let them help you experience the Frank Beck Chevrolet difference. 517-849-2886. Get in there and see one of their great salesmen. And you'll never get a better deal on a truck than you will this month at Frank Beck Chevrolet. On M99 between Carlton Road in Hillsdale. Chevrolet together, let's drive. Chevy Drive, Southern Michigan, and Frank Beck Chevrolet is indeed the #1 selling Chevrolet dealer in our immediate tri-state area. Also in part by Barrett Insurance in downtown Jonesville on the corner of M99 and US 12. 517-849-1000, BarrettINS.com. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. On M99 and US 12 in Jonesville. 517-849-1000. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. That's BarrettINS.com. Red Wings. 2-1, 2 straight wins over the Toronto Maple Leafs. They welcome the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning into Little Caesars Arena for back-to-back games Thursday and Friday, I think. I hope. Well, if I'll come back tomorrow night and let you know if that's correct or not. I think it's tomorrow night and Friday night. Panthers and Lightning at Little Caesars Arena. Good to see him get off to a good start. Like I said yesterday, Cam Talbot was very good in net yesterday. They were outshot considerably by the Maple Leafs, but just Cam Talbot was great yesterday. A lot better than Gibson was opening night last week. As I said, they don't have an elite goaltender. If they did, I think they'd make the playoffs. That's the one thing missing right now from this team is an elite goaltender. As I said, they're not hard to get, not hard to find. No. Anyway, it's good to see them get off to a good start. Anyway, first 3 games. Pistons get started, next week? I'll have more on that tomorrow night, too, I think. Anything else we're leaving out here before we get to the Lions in football? I think not. Let's do this. Quality PC, downtown Hillsdale. If it wasn't for their help, we wouldn't be doing this podcast. 37 Walter Street in downtown Hillsdale, directly across from Fat Shack's Automotive. 517-610-5372. Any technical service needs at all, this is the only place around here to go. Tim Lindley and his crack staff are more than capable of resolving any technical issues you have. This is the only place to go. Get in there. We're so fortunate to have them in our area. Anything, computers, new or used, flat screen TV, mounting, programming, perhaps you're changing net providers, you need that installed. Printers, new or used, any at all. Get in there, see them, talk to them. 517-610-5372. And I apologize for Miggy not being in here. We got him in here late, but I suppose better late than never. Okay? Okay. All right. So when you do get in there at 37 Walter Street, downtown Hillsdale, tell me, Mickey said, will you please? Okay. All right. Mickey says hola, by the way. Okay. All right. Dan Campbell, because of the game next Monday night, the Lions, this was not their normal week of operation. Normally, Tuesday is a day off for them before a Sunday game. Actually, they got in some work today, and they'll take tomorrow off and get back to work on Thursday before the game next Monday night. Dan Campbell did address the press today. Of course, you probably know by now Brian Branch has been suspended for a slap at Smith Schuster at the end of the game Sunday night. You know, there was a national writer today who came in, not a Lions writer, it had nothing to do with Detroit. He pointed out, this writer, national writer, that 7 calls, 7 blatant calls that the officials missed against the Chiefs Sunday night. 7. Including that shot and that clip in the back that Schuster gave to Brian Branch shortly before the end of the game. You know, I'm not going to. I love Brian Branch. He's a terrific football player. But he has to learn he can't do things like that are going to hurt his team. Some of the calls this morning on Sports Talk Radio were people calling in saying they were glad that he did what he did. How many times was Patrick Mahomes taunting the Lions Sunday night and then never got called for it? This whole thing, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes doing all of his commercials, the celebrity status, if you will, of the Kansas City Chiefs seems to have how do I want to word this? Seems to have gotten into the heads of Roger Goodell and the NFL. By that I mean they are right now they are so overwhelmed by the celebrity status of the Kansas City Chiefs, thinking maybe the NFL thinking maybe the Chiefs are their meal ticket now. They are so overwhelmed by the celebrity status of the Kansas City Chiefs that it has rendered them totally incapable of any sense of reasoning. That's what it looks like anyway. It looks like to me. It certainly looks that way. No. Being interesting to see, especially when the Chiefs are playing at Arrowhead the rest of the season, how many penalties get called on them. It really is. If you watched any of that game last night, the Bears and the Commanders, almost what was driving a rainy, windy night in our nation's capital, and that it ended up costing the Commanders. With time running out, they had a 2-point lead in the ball, and they fumbled the ball. They botched the handoff. Bears got the ball, kicked the field goal. Jake Moody kicked the field goal as time ran out, and the Bears win the game 25-24. Second week in a row, it came down to the last play of the game for the Bears. Now, they won 3 straight, but look how they've won the last 2 games. They beat Las Vegas as they were about to kick the winning field goal. They blocked it. And last night, Jake Moody, as I said, as time expired, kicked the game-winning field goal for them. Hey, the Bears are 3-3. As far as the Commanders go, they're 3-3 too. It's getting harder and harder to win in this league, especially on the road. Bears have won 2 straight road games. Are they better than they were last year? Yeah, they could be. Look, Lions don't play them again until the last game of the season. I do think the Bears, to me, look like a playoff team. So far, anyway. They seem to have avoided any key injury. There's so much involved in that, too. Injuries play a major part in any success a decent team will have in the National Football League. So, going into the game Monday night, the Lions are 5.5-point favorites. Look, the Tampa Bay on the offensive side of the ball they've lost their top 3 or 4 wide receivers. They're not going to be playing Monday night. They're going to be Mayfield is going to be throwing to guys that I never heard of, but it's still Baker. Okay. And now the Lions without Brian Branch, what's that secondary going to look like? And that's kind of segues into what I'm about to give you here before we get out of here. Dan Campbell did give an injury update today. Lee McNeil, they're hopeful he can play for the Bucs right now. I think he said it was 60-40 or 55-45 that he could play. No guarantee. He's looked good the last couple of weeks in practice. Big help if Lee McNeil could play Monday night. Terrion Arnold, Levante Maddox are expected back after the bye week. So after Monday night, the Lions get a week off, and they'll get back in action November the 2nd. Finally, they get a 1 o'clock game at home against the Minnesota Vikings, November the 2nd. Okay, and that's what we're saying here. Terrion Arnold and Levante Maddox, 2 corners, expected back after the bye week. Marcus Davenport, not ready to return from injured reserve, and Kirby Joseph, his playing status right now is day-to-day, depending on the risk-reward of his knee injury. He gutted it out Sunday night. But he was obviously hurting. Taylor Decker. To me, this is the most disconcerting injury of all. He's still recovering from a lingering shoulder injury. Campbell provided a grim update on his recovery. It's unclear if he will continue to be limited or potentially miss more time. This doesn't sound good. I don't expect him to play Monday night. They could possibly get him back November the 2nd after the bye. They should get several people back after the bye. This bye week could have come at a better time for the Lions. It really couldn't have. That's your injury update. Doesn't sound too promising. I guess the best case scenario would be to see Lee McNeil play Monday night because Tyleik Williams did not have that great of a game Sunday night. I didn't think he wasn't much of a factor, and yeah, it'd be great help if they could get Lee McNeil back for Monday night. That's going to do it. We'll talk to you all again one more time this week, and that'll be tomorrow night, Wednesday, and then that'll do it until next Monday. Don't forget, Andy and I and Jed will be gone this Saturday, so give a listen, if you will, please, to Harrison James on the Time Out Show here locally from 9 to 10, WCSR 92.1 FM this Saturday. Okay, and so I will talk to you all again for one last time this week tomorrow night. And as I said, that'll be it again until next Monday. So thank you all so much for watching, listening. Remember, please treat each other with respect. Have a good rest of your evening. So until tomorrow night, I'll simply say adios, folks. I'm out of here. Good night. Bye-bye.